Protein in the urine, or proteinuria, is often one of the very first warning signs that your kidneys are under stress. It may not cause pain, fever, or any obvious symptoms, which is why so many people miss it until the problem has already advanced. Doctors see it as a red flag that the filters inside your kidneys are leaking, and if it is left unchecked, it can be the early pathway to chronic kidney disease. That makes everyday choices, especially the drinks we consume, far more important than most people realize. The shock is that some of the beverages we trust the most, the ones we believe are healthy, refreshing, or harmless, are actually putting silent pressure on the kidneys every single day. That morning glass of orange juice, that soda you sip with lunch, or even that cold glass of milk at night may be doing more harm than good. Science now shows that certain daily drinks can overload your kidneys, disturb blood pressure, increase toxins, and trigger proteinuria behind the scenes without you even noticing. The truth is, what you pour into your glass can shape the health of your kidneys as much as any pill or test result. And while the problem is hidden, the solution is often surprisingly simple. That glass of juice, that soda, even that milk? What if they were quietly damaging your kidneys? But which drinks are truly villains, and which can be your kidneys' hidden allies? Let's count them down. Energy drinks are marketed as quick fuel for your body and mind, but the truth is they can silently push your kidneys towards serious harm. The first danger comes from sugar overload. A standard can carry anywhere from 40 to 55 grams of sugar, with extreme versions reaching as high as 78 grams. To put this into perspective, the American Heart Association recommends adults limit added sugar to 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men per day. One can alone can deliver double or even triple that allowance in a matter of minutes. Imagine pouring 20 teaspoons of sugar into a glass and drinking it all at once. That's what your kidneys face when you down one of these so-called energy boosters. The sudden spike in sugar floods the bloodstream, forcing your kidneys to work harder to filter it and increasing the chances of protein slipping into your urine. But sugar is only half of the problem. The second blow is the caffeine storm. Most cans contain between 160 and 300 milligrams of caffeine, with some brands reaching up to 350 milligrams in a single 16-ounce serving. Experts recommend no more than 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine in an entire day. That means one can nearly max out your limit, leaving no room for tea, coffee, or even chocolate. High caffeine jolts the body, raises blood pressure, and puts your cardiovascular system and kidneys under sudden strain. On its own, this is risky, but when caffeine combines with sugar and added stimulants like taurine, the effect is not simply additive, it's multiplied. This dangerous synergy is like creating a perfect storm inside the body, and the kidneys end up absorbing the impact. Scientific studies link energy drinks with acute kidney injury, or AKI, and the evidence is not limited to theory. Case reports document real events, like a 20-year-old man who drank 6 cans a day for a week, believing he was just fueling his energy. Instead, he landed in the hospital with acute kidney injury, proving how quickly the damage can appear. Even people who don't drink extreme amounts face risks, because daily use pushes kidneys into a constant cycle of high sugar load, high blood pressure, and overstimulation. Energy drinks also often contain phosphorus and sodium additives, minerals that weakened kidneys cannot process efficiently. Over time, this adds more stress to filtration and balance. It's also important to note that switching to sugar-free or zero versions does not remove the threat. Yes, you may dodge the sugar tsunami, but the caffeine surge and other stimulants remain. Artificial sweeteners may even create their own problems, with some evidence linking them to higher risks of kidney disease. In short, the formula is designed to stimulate and overwhelm, not to nourish. For those who rely on energy drinks for a boost, there are safer alternatives. Green tea provides a smaller, gentler dose of caffeine, along with protective antioxidants instead of extra stress. A handful of nuts delivers sustained energy through healthy fats and protein. Even a 5-minute walk or a few deep breathing exercises can give the body a natural lift without harming the kidneys. Energy may feel scarce in the moment, but choosing an energy drink is like borrowing vitality at an enormous interest rate. Your kidneys will eventually pay the price. One can look harmless until you realize it's triple your sugar allowance in a single hit. If energy drinks strike like a lightning bolt, the next drink is more like a slow poison that pretends to be harmless. Alcohol has always carried a mixed reputation when it comes to health, and kidneys are no exception. Some research suggests that small amounts may show a protective effect, but the story is far more complicated once you look closer. Scientists call this the J-curve effect. At very light levels of drinking, less than 12 grams of alcohol a day, some studies show a lower risk of protein in the urine compared to those who never drink. That equals about one standard drink: a 12-ounce beer, a 5-ounce glass of wine, or a 1.5-ounce shot of spirits. On the surface, this seems almost like a benefit, but the protection is so narrow that it can vanish easily. Once intake rises to 36 to 60 grams a day, the protective curve flips sharply upward. At that point, the risk of proteinuria actually becomes higher than in people who completely avoid alcohol. What looks like a benefit at first quickly becomes a danger. The way alcohol harms kidneys is not mysterious. The first strike comes from dehydration. Alcohol acts as a diuretic, making you urinate more frequently. This reduces blood volume and limits the supply of fluid reaching the kidneys. When kidneys are forced to work in a low-fluid environment, they struggle. And over time, this constant strain can lead to damage. The second strike is blood pressure. Alcohol raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure is one of the most direct pathways to kidney injury. A less obvious but equally important effect is the rebound heart rate response. Research on healthy young men has shown that after drinking, blood pressure may dip temporarily, but then it rebounds upward, while heart rate stays elevated. This forces the kidneys to filter blood that is moving through the body faster than normal, a constant stress that wears down their delicate filters. For seniors and those with existing kidney problems, even the so-called protective side of the J-curve may not exist at all. Kidneys that are already weakened cannot handle dehydration, blood pressure swings, or elevated heart rate the way healthy kidneys might. What might look like light drinking to one person can still be the beginning of harm to someone whose kidneys are already under pressure from age or disease. That is why many experts emphasize that no one should ever start drinking for kidney protection. Understanding how much alcohol is in a standard drink is critical because many people underestimate. A tall beer glass, a heavy pour of wine at dinner, or a mixed drink with double spirits can easily equal 2 or even 3 drinks in one sitting. Seniors especially need to be careful because smaller body size and slower metabolism mean alcohol lingers longer and hits harder. One glass might sound harmless, but the effect can be much stronger than expected. So what does this mean in daily life? For those who choose to drink, the safest path is moderation. 1. Standard drink or less, not every day, and never in large amounts. For anyone with kidney disease, high blood pressure, or on medication, even that small window may not be safe. Water, herbal teas, or simple fruit-infused drinks provide hydration and flavor without the kidney stress. Alcohol can seem like a companion at social gatherings, but kidneys interpret it very differently. A single glass might feel protective but cross the line, and alcohol flips from friend to foe. And while alcohol is debated, the next culprit is something you've been told since childhood is good for you. For generations, milk has been promoted as one of the healthiest drinks you can have. Parents give it to children for strong bones, and many seniors keep it in their daily routine, believing it supports strength in older age. But when it comes to kidney health, the story looks very different. The very qualities that make milk rich in nutrients can also make it difficult for weakened kidneys to handle. The first concern is the animal protein in milk. Each cup carries about 8 grams of protein. And while protein is important for muscle and repair, it also creates acid byproducts that the kidneys must neutralize. This process, called acid loading, puts kidney filters into overdrive. As the kidneys try to handle the acid, they increase blood flow and pressure in their tiny filtration units. Over time, this constant hyperfiltration damages the delicate tissue, making protein leakage into the urine more likely. Another problem is the mineral content. Milk is naturally high in both phosphorus and potassium. For healthy kidneys, removing these minerals from the blood is part of daily function. But for people in stages 3 to 5 of chronic kidney disease, this simple task becomes a major struggle. When phosphorus builds up in the blood, it does more than disturb bone health. Excess phosphorus can pull calcium from bones, weakening them, while at the same time depositing calcium into the walls of arteries. This process, called vascular calcification, essentially hardens blood vessels and increases the risk of heart disease and premature death. For seniors who already face cardiovascular risks, the added phosphorus from a daily glass of milk can quietly speed up these problems. Potassium is another hidden issue. Each glass of milk has around 380 to 400 milligrams of potassium, and skim milk actually contains slightly more than whole milk. In someone with reduced kidney function, potassium can accumulate in the blood instead of being filtered out. Elevated potassium may not cause immediate symptoms, but it can trigger dangerous heart rhythm changes called arrhythmias. In the worst cases, it can lead to sudden cardiac arrest. This makes milk particularly concerning for people whose kidneys already have a reduced capacity to balance electrolytes. The problem doesn't stop at a glass of milk. Other dairy products, such as yogurt, ice cream, and pudding, are often concentrated sources of phosphorus and potassium. Some processed dairy products even include added phosphorus-based preservatives, which make the burden even heavier. People may think switching to fat-free milk or healthier dairy options will help, but these alternatives often contain just as much, if not more, of the minerals that stress the kidneys. What seems like a safe, wholesome choice can, in reality, be adding silent pressure every day. Does this mean dairy must be avoided completely? Not always. For some people with normal kidney function, moderate amounts of dairy can still fit into a balanced diet. But for seniors, especially those with stage 3 or later chronic kidney disease, daily servings of milk or large portions of dairy can be harmful. Doctors sometimes allow small servings like half a cup, paired with phosphorus binders to reduce absorption, but this has to be personalized under medical supervision. The key message is that milk should not be viewed as automatically safe for everyone, especially when kidney health is already fragile. The very drink we were told builds strong bones may actually weaken kidneys already under stress. But even if you skip milk, chances are you're still drinking our has-honed silent kidney assassin almost every day. Sugar-sweetened beverages, often shortened to SSBs, are among the most common drinks people enjoy daily. This group includes regular sodas, sweetened iced teas, fruit punches, sports drinks, and many flavored waters that seem refreshing but are loaded with sugar. On the surface, they feel harmless after all, it's just a cold drink. But inside the body, they set off a chain reaction that directly harms the kidneys. The biggest culprit is fructose, the type of sugar that sweetens most of these drinks. When large amounts of fructose hit your system, it doesn't just raise blood sugar. It breaks down into uric acid, a compound that is toxic to kidney cells. Elevated uric acid can inflame the kidney's delicate filters, narrowing blood vessels inside the kidneys and reducing their blood supply. Over time, this stress increases the risk of protein leaking into urine and pushes the kidneys toward long-term decline. The danger becomes more alarming when you look at the research. A 2024 analysis of nearly 200,000 people in the UK, Biobank revealed that drinking just one sugar-sweetened beverage a day was associated with a 45% higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Even more surprising, the same study showed that artificially sweetened drinks, diet sodas, and zero-calorie alternatives were linked to an even greater risk, around 52% higher. Many people switch to diet versions thinking they are safe, but the data suggests the opposite. These artificial sweeteners may alter metabolism and disrupt the gut-kidney connection, creating stress that is as harmful, if not worse, than sugar itself. So, whether the label says classic or zero, the kidneys may still pay the price. The harmful effects don't take decades to appear. Studies have shown that daily consumption of these drinks quickly changes how the kidneys filter blood and handle electrolytes. The sugar load forces the kidneys into hyperfiltration, and the added uric acid inflames kidney tissue. This isn't just an abstract risk. It translates into proteinuria, hypertension, and a measurable rise in kidney disease risk over time. Seniors are especially vulnerable because their kidneys already filter less efficiently with age, making them less capable of handling these extra burdens. The good news is that simple swaps can protect kidney health without giving up flavor. Infused water is an easy first step. Adding slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint gives plain water a refreshing taste without adding sugar or artificial chemicals. For those who miss the fizz, plain sparkling water with a splash of 100% fruit juice provides carbonation and flavor with only a fraction of the sugar. Just a tablespoon of juice can make sparkling water feel like a treat while keeping sugar content very low. Unsweetened tea or black coffee are also safer alternatives when caffeine is desired, as they deliver antioxidants instead of sugar shocks. Another important tip is timing. If you do consume something sweet, having it with a meal is safer than drinking it on an empty stomach. Food slows down sugar absorption, reducing the sudden shock to the kidneys and blood vessels. While this doesn't make sugary drinks safe, it does lower the immediate damage compared to drinking them alone. Gradual shifts like replacing just one soda a day with a healthier alternative can add up to big improvements over time. Even zero-calorie sodas can silently raise your kidney risk. But don't worry, nature doesn't just curse, it also cures. Let's flip the script and meet your kidney's secret defenders. Lemon water may look like nothing more than a simple drink, but inside it carries a compound that plays an important role in kidney protection. That compound is citrate, and its job is to block one of the most common pathways to kidney stones. Normally, calcium in urine can join with oxalate, forming crystals that, over time, turn into stones. Citrate disrupts this process by binding to calcium before oxalate can, keeping it dissolved and harmless. This small chemical shift makes urine less stone-forming and protects kidneys from the double damage of stones on top of existing stress. For people with proteinuria, avoiding kidney stones is especially important because stones can worsen already weakened kidneys. Citrate does more than just bind calcium. Lemon water also raises the pH of urine, making it slightly less acidic. A more alkaline environment is less friendly to uric acid stones, which are known to form in acidic urine. This change eases the kidney's burden of neutralizing acid and creates conditions that are safer for long-term kidney function. In simple terms, lemon water reduces both the building blocks and the environment that allow stones to form. These benefits are supported by science. A 2017 meta-analysis reviewing multiple trials confirmed that citrus products increase urinary citrate levels significantly, lowering stone risk. Another clinical study followed over 200 patients with recurring calcium oxalate stones for 2 years. Those who added lemon juice to their daily diet had higher citrate levels, even if stone prevention results were mixed overall. The key point is that lemon water consistently improved chemistry in the urine in ways that support kidney protection. Adding lemon water to daily life is straightforward. The effective dose is the juice of half a lemon in a glass of water each day. Fresh lemons are better than commercial lemonades, which are usually packed with sugar and cancel out the benefits. To protect tooth enamel from citric acid, drink through a straw and rinse the mouth with plain water afterward. This way, you gain the benefits without putting your teeth at risk. The habit is inexpensive, easy to prepare, and can be built into a morning or afternoon routine without difficulty. It's not about detox, it's about chemistry. Citrate is your kidney's secret bodyguard. But while lemon water disrupts stones, our next hero fights the very fire of kidney inflammation. Green tea is one of the most widely consumed beverages in the world, and when it comes to kidney health, its strength lies in a powerful compound called EGCG. This antioxidant works like a master switch inside the body, triggering cells to defend themselves against stress and injury. The first action of EGCG is to neutralize free radicals, those unstable molecules that inflame and damage kidney tissue over time. The second action is just as important. It turns on the body's own antioxidant systems, giving the kidneys a stronger long-term shield. This two-step defense is why green tea is considered such a valuable ally for people at risk of proteinuria and chronic kidney disease. The evidence goes beyond lab tests. Genetic studies known as Mendelian randomization provide strong proof of green tea's protective effect. These studies examine people who naturally drink more tea due to inherited genetic traits and compare them to those who don't, without the usual confusion of lifestyle factors. Results consistently show that each additional daily cup of tea is linked to a lower risk of developing CKD and better overall kidney function. In fact, tea drinkers in these studies showed nearly 20% lower risk of chronic kidney disease and significantly reduced protein in urine. This means the benefits are not just theory, they show up in real populations. Other large studies support these findings. A 2025 analysis of over 17,000 people with kidney disease showed that those in early CKD stages who drank up to 4 cups of tea per day had an 11% lower risk of death compared to non-tea drinkers. Another study found that women prone to kidney stones who drank green tea daily had no cases of calcium oxalate stones compared to 42% of women who avoided tea. This suggests that green tea not only protects against proteinuria, but may also reduce kidney stone formation, offering double protection. To get these benefits, preparation matters. Boiling water can damage delicate EGCG molecules, so it's best to let the water cool slightly before brewing. Steeping the leaves 2 or 3 times during the day still releases antioxidants while reducing waste. Bottled green teas, on the other hand, are often loaded with sugar, which cancels out the benefits. Choosing fresh-brewed, unsweetened green tea is the safest and most effective option. Every cup of green tea is like sending in a fire brigade to your kidneys. And yet, even with tea's power, the true champion drink sits in billions of kitchens quietly rewriting the story of kidney health. Coffee has long been debated as either a friend or a foe to human health, but when you strip it down to its key compounds, the evidence for kidney protection becomes hard to ignore. Black coffee is naturally rich in antioxidants such as chlorogenic acid and melanoidins. These compounds reduce inflammation at the cellular level and protect the delicate kidney tissues from long-term oxidative stress. Chronic inflammation is one of the major drivers of proteinuria and CKD progression, so adding antioxidants through a daily habit like coffee can make a meaningful difference. Large studies confirm this effect. A 2021 meta-analysis covering more than 500,000 people found that coffee drinkers had a 14% lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Those who drank 2 or more cups per day showed even stronger protection than lighter drinkers. The same research linked coffee consumption to an 18% lower risk of end-stage kidney disease, the most advanced form that requires dialysis or transplant. Even more striking, coffee drinkers had a 28% lower risk of death related to kidney disease. These numbers don't prove coffee is a cure, but they strongly suggest that black coffee plays a protective role when consumed wisely. The benefits are not limited to antioxidants. Caffeine itself, often seen as the risky part of coffee, can actually help the kidneys when consumed in moderate amounts. It works by blocking adenosine A1 receptors in the tiny blood vessels of the kidneys. This causes the vessels to dilate, increasing blood flow and filtration rate, which supports kidney function. However, how your body reacts to caffeine depends on genetics. A gene called CYP1A2 determines whether you are a fast or slow metabolizer of caffeine. Fast metabolizers break it down quickly and may benefit from more coffee without side effects. Slow metabolizers, on the other hand, retain caffeine longer, which can cause jitteriness, anxiety, or even negative effects if they consume too much. Because of this variation, safe coffee use requires paying attention to personal limits. For most people, 1 to 2 cups a day is a good balance between benefits and safety. Drinking it black is key, because adding creamers and sugar not only adds calories but also brings phosphorus, potassium, and fat that can stress the kidneys. Using paper filters instead of metal ones is another smart step, because filters remove oily compounds like cafestol that may raise cholesterol and indirectly harm cardiovascular and kidney health. Timing also matters. Having coffee before 2 p.m. helps prevent sleep disruption, since poor sleep can indirectly worsen kidney problems through stress and blood pressure changes. The world's most loved morning ritual may secretly be your kidney's best friend. But even heroes have limits, and here's the deeper lesson about drinks, kidneys, and the choices only you can make. We've now walked through both sides of the story, and the message is clear. On one hand, there are the villain's energy drinks, packed with sugar and caffeine, alcohol that tips from protective to harmful with the slightest increase, dairy milk that loads kidneys with protein and minerals they can't handle, and sugar-sweetened beverages, including diet sodas, that quietly raise the risk of chronic kidney disease. On the other hand, there are the heroes lemon water, with its citrate power, green tea with antioxidants that fight inflammation, and black coffee that, when used wisely, supports better kidney filtration and lowers disease risk. These aren't exotic or expensive solutions. They are simple, everyday choices hiding in plain sight. The important lesson is that there is no magic bullet. One single drink won't save your kidneys, just like one single soda won't ruin them. It's the pattern of choices over weeks, months, and years that shapes kidney health. Every cup poured is either adding stress or building protection. For seniors especially, where kidney function naturally declines with age, these small daily habits matter even more. Consistency is the quiet force that turns prevention into protection. Another key is context. A drink that is fine for one person may be risky for another. Someone with healthy kidneys might tolerate moderate dairy or a small glass of wine now and then, while someone with stage 3 chronic kidney disease cannot. Potassium levels, phosphorus handling, blood pressure control, and genetic factors like caffeine metabolism all influence what's safe. That is why these choices should always be made with individual risk in mind. Integrating them into a balanced lifestyle, hydration, whole foods, exercise, and stress management creates the strongest foundation for kidney health. And always remember, no video or article can replace medical guidance. Before making major changes to your diet or drink habits, talk with your healthcare provider. They can interpret your lab results, check your kidney function, and guide you on what works for your unique body. What protects one person may strain another. Personalizing these choices ensures that good intentions translate into real protection. Your kidneys may be silent, but your choices speak loudly every single day. And next time, we'll uncover the breakfast habits that can either save your kidneys or silently destroy them.